We are back. Episode 8, Power the Punchline. Rudy, we got to be quick because somebody was telling me, hey, Mick, you guys got like 90 seconds of advertisements before y'all start now. So I guess we just got to go straight into the show, bro.
I told my mom I was going to be somebody one day, but that's awesome, man. How you doing? You good?
I'm doing great. And hey, I want to apologize, but not apologize. Yeah, we do have advertisers. We got sponsors that are lining up. You know, Rudy and I do have bills. So, you know, while we do this for fun, we also, you know, love it too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Definitely got to pay them bills.
Yes, sir. Speaking of bills.
Yeah.
Well, not really speaking of bills. Rudy, you hit me up and said, all right, Mick, this is going to be the conversation for episode 8. We've talked about a lot. We talked about personal life. We talked about Super Bowl, All-Star Weekend, all that jazz.
Mhm.
We need to talk about social media.
Oh, yeah.
We need to talk about social media and the relationships that are formed or broken on social media.
Yeah.
And I know you hit me up because I immediately was like, oh, Rudy, that's deep. I got these stats. And you said, hey, Mick, you just looking at like the lovey-dovey relationship. There's friendships that are there. And I was like, oh, I got to step back.
Yeah.
Social media has evolved, right? I know some people that honestly have never met in person, but are the relationship budded. I'm talking about friendship wise from social media. And like they are the best of friends, right? So yeah, bro, let's talk about social media and its impact on relationships. So Rudy Rush, as always, the floor is yours first.
Man.
I'm not good enough to go first.
I appreciate that. You know, it's funny because, you know, like even you and I, like, you know, a lot of our communication happens via social media because we're busy. We live in a day and age where, you know, a lot has changed. We'll talk about that on the show, just about how like the dynamic of, you know, social media has just changed the landscape of how we communicate. And it's funny. So I'm just going to go straight into it, how I actually got this idea because, you know, being a single guy, you know, going through relationship after relationship sometime. And I think early on in the beginning, especially in the beginning of cell phones and that era where, you know, you didn't have to rely on other means to communicate, it made it so much easy, so much accessible to get in contact with each other. I was having a problem with a few things. So I'm gonna be all over the place, but they're all gonna be in the same park. So the first thing I was having a problem with, of course, is the communication, the openness of cell phones. And we won't even get into the social media side because that's part of it because it's all in your phone. But let's start to just the communication part. Like I would be like, in order for me to speak to somebody, I would have to sometimes either have their work number or wait for them to bring their raggedy behind home. You know what I'm saying? And if you had a friend, a girlfriend, a boyfriend who didn't get home until 8, 9 o'clock, you had to wait for them to check their messages and then they would call you back if they were inclined to do so. So we went from that to now it's like you speak to your girl or your guy, whether it's voice or text messaging throughout the day. You can tap your lover at least 10 to 20 times. Is that a good thing? Is that a positive thing? For some it is because it's their love language, but others it's like it deteriorates a relationship, I believe.
Yeah. No, I rock with you on that, man. And what's crazy when we talk about social media, for the longest, the only platform I had was LinkedIn. Like that was it. I just got Instagram in 2024.
You was strictly business, bro. You was like, I just want
1,000% business because I heard horror stories.
Oh, they still exist, yeah.
Yes, of the other way. And I was like, you know what? I'm a business guy. I'm a LinkedIn guy. It's a whole bunch of tomfoolery on these other platforms.
It's straight freaknik on social media. It really is, man. And I commend you because of course you're a married man. You've always been a family guy, and for you to acknowledge that is it's the safest place to be because LinkedIn has all these different things that let you know who's watching your page and all kinds of stuff. And so I kind of like that. It's very professional and they haven't veered off of that track. But I'm telling you, I had to explain to a young lady I was dating. She saw no reason for a guy that she randomly met in the street to have her Instagram information. I said, let me just tell you this. Before cell phones, before Instagram, before Facebook, in order for a man, if you had a boyfriend, a guy would see you somewhere and be like, hey, you're beautiful. I'd like to get to know you. And you would say, no, I have a boyfriend. Or if you were inclined to give him your information, he would have to have your work or your house number. And as with a boyfriend or live-in husband, whatever, you wouldn't be able to do that. Okay. So now you give him access to not only a way to communicate with you, but he sees your whole entire life. Bathing suit pics and pictures with your friends and your kids. It's atrocious how people actually defend. It's just social media. They try to bring in that old insecurity. Like there hasn't been a study to my knowledge yet, Mick, that can confirm how healthy it is to have a social media account? Because I feel it's not.
Well, so I felt like that for a very long time. Like I said, I was Instagram only, and it was really business, clients, prospects, that whole
Hmm.
deal. It wasn't until I had a conversation. I'm not name dropping. We talk about Damon John on every
Yeah,
episode,
yeah.
right? But it wasn't until it was like, Nick, people want to know what's going on with you, right? Like, not from a nosy standpoint. It's just that's how everything is now. Like, it took celebrities showing the food they ate that day, right? Now that's what everybody. It took athletes doing different things, and so people thought they got to see the private life of a lot of folks. And I am the most private person in the world, and so I was like, nah, I don't want people to see any. I don't want people to see the walls of my house because somebody might find something. Oh, I know exactly where that
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Right? I don't want you to see the forest behind me because it's like, oh, I know the gradient points. I know the grid marks for that one. I
Yeah,
know where Mick
yeah.
is. So I didn't want any of that. But I also understood that as I was building and growing my brand, again, I'm still business, right? But as I was growing my brand and I needed a new set of eyes, like fastest, easiest way to get that was reaching more people because Instagram and Facebook, everything Meta has far more
Oh yeah.
usage than LinkedIn
I
does.
mean, overnight success is a new term, and it really lives on the internet right now. I mean, tomorrow you could become a millionaire, whether you're 18 or 81 years old. So it
Yep.
really does, move you to kind of go into that space. Because I've even explained to people like, yo, this is a business as well, especially if you're in a business like yourself, entertainment and reaching out to people. It's the best way to kind of interact or grab your audience. So that's my excuse. I feel like if I didn't have comedy or the radio or just, being a personality, I probably wouldn't be on social media, especially as much as I am. So I don't know.
So let's go into relationship. And I'm not talking dating relationships here. You and I wouldn't be where we are without social media.
Totally not.
Right? Like I would not have been able to get in touch with Rudy Rush without asking for your number at a comedy show, which you would not have done because I'm a grown man. I'm not going to ask another grown man for his phone number with, somebody beside me like
Yeah.
that. But Instagram allowed me to go, oh, let me just go follow Rudy, right? And then you sent me a message, right? Like that's just the relationship building that can happen from social media. When I tell people this, everybody's like, nah, that's not true. Robert Irvine is my best friend. Celebrity chef Robert Irvine is my best friend in the world. Our relationship started on LinkedIn.
Wow.
Like, and people don't believe it because they see us
And
together
think
all
you've
the
known
time
each other
now. And it's
for
like,
since you were childhood friends or something like that.
right. And because they see us together, it's like there's no way that your relationship started with Mick commenting on one of your posts and then you followed Mick first.
Mm.
He didn't even follow, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nobody would believe that. But I think that's the power of social media now. Twofold. Again, we're talking relationship. The ability to get in front of people or be seen by people that 20 years ago would not have happened. Like Rudy Rush 20 years ago coming off stage,
Would have
right?
never happened, bro. It would have been thanks for, for coming to the show. Thanks for buying my sweatshirt. It's great to meet you and the missus. Man, I'm glad y'all had a great time. It's a million situations like that happened in the past. But like you said, our meeting was so impactful, bro. You don't understand. And I know we talk about it. It's like a love fest, but at the same time, honestly, like at the place I was at my life, and even in that evening, and when you hit me up and I followed you back, and I was just like, yo, I gotta reach out to this dude. I can't just and I was in between shows. We don't do anything, some of us, between shows. I don't even look at my phone. I may call my girls or something, but something implored me to be like, yo, let me see if this cat followed me. And then I saw you and I was like, yo, something's telling me, follow him up and hit him with a message to say, yo, I want to kind of get to know what's going on with you and let me rock with you. I need some mentorship because there was something I wanted to do.